Hello everyone and welcome back to another DrAce video. Today we're going to be using Aldeguer in a time trial session around the wonderful Saxonring, and I am going to ask the question to you guys, and I'm also going to try and answer the question: have Ducati made a mistake by signing Aldeguer to a contract in the Premier class? Now this has started to creep up more recently, since has not quite had the success that we all expected coming into the 2024 season. There's been mistakes, there's been double long lap penalties for jumping starts, there's been track limit warnings, there's been race wins and losses disappearing away from just a little bit of lax concentration by abusing track limits, and I am beginning to see a lot of questions from the fans asking if Ducati made the mistake, and today I want to dive into this a little bit because at the weekend, in the Saxonring, the man on your screens right now was absolutely brilliant. He bided his time, he waited for the moment to battle with the other riders and then to pull the plug and absolutely go for it and win in a dominant, commanding way here in the German GP. And to me, that looked like the of old, the Aldeguer that we expected when pen made contact with paper in the Ducati garages to accept that he would be joining at least one of the teams in Ducati in MotoGP for 2025. Now, I can understand completely the perspective of why the hell did Ducati sign this guy when it was the start of the season, pretty much right at the beginning, pen to paper, Firmin's going up to MotoGP next season. First and foremost, I don't particularly like that. I think it has it's a tough one. It has an adverse effect on the rider in question. It puts a lot of pressure on that person to deliver, because if you don't know your future, then you don't know whether you're going to go up into MotoGP or stay as you are, or possibly go across to World Superbike. But when you've got that contract signed and you know you're going up to the Premier class, this year potentially is your last year to become a world champion within the intermediate class. And a rider like Aldeguer, anyone who's on the Bosca scorer, they're on the competition of winning a championship. The list is a mile long for competitors within Moto2, but there can only be one champion. If I was in Firmin's seat, I would worry that, well, this is my last chance, I've got to make it happen, otherwise I'll never become a Moto2 world champion. But at the same side, you have the positives. Contract's done and dusted. It doesn't matter what I do from this point onwards. I'm going up to the Premier class in one of the most prestigious brands ever in motorcycle racing. So you've got to think positively. You're thinking that, yeah, this season, just have a good year. So I am a little bit torn on the whole idea. When I initially read the news that Ducati was signing the young Spaniard, I thought fantastic. I think he does deserve it. I think he's an excellent rider, coming from Moto E, going into Moto 2, and being an excellent competitor. Yeah, he deserves a MotoGP seat. I would be happy to see Aldeguer up there. I just think the timing of when this contract arrived was not necessarily a good thing for Aldeguer. But at the same time, now as we go into 10 rounds of MotoGP, whatever round it is we're on right now, maybe round 10, something like that. Of course, we've got the summer break. I still don't think Ducati have made a mistake. I am reading a lot of comments where people are saying that Ducati need to rip up the contract and pay him off immediately, sign someone else, panic stations. I really don't think that's necessary. Absolutely not. At the very least, Aldeguer will be an excellent satellite rider like someone like Alex Marquez. He doesn't have to be the next best thing. And sometimes I think a lot of people forget this week that you're not always signed to be the greatest rider in the world. You're not always signed to be the next best thing. Sometimes you're signed to earn points, to be the backup rider, to help promote and produce development for a motorcycle. And I can't see anyone better in Moto2 right now than Aldeguer. He is young, he is less than 20 years old, he's still a teenager, so there's still a lot of upside, but also at the same time there's a lot of chance for maturity, a lot of chance of growing within a brand like Ducati. A lot of these big brands like to mould their superstars. They like to take them young and bring them up to their plethora, to their idea, to their plateau, excuse me, that's what the word I was supposed to be using there. So I do really feel that Fermín Aldeguer has a terrific chance of doing well in MotoGP. I don't think he's going to set the world on fire. He's not going to become the youngest rider to ever win in the Premier class, in my opinion right now. But I think he's still going to be an excellent, solid choice. And I don't particularly agree. I don't subscribe to the point of view where people say, oh, it's a mistake, get rid, panic stations, rip up the contract, pay him off, anything, just get rid of Fermín Aldeguer, we've made a mistake. It's definitely not that way, and to be honest, he's 39 points in the championship behind Sergio Garcia. Sergio Garcia going into this one, maybe I'm wrong for saying this, I didn't think he was a championship contender. Joe Roberts, I didn't really see him as a championship contender either. I was looking at Celestino Vietti, Tony Arbolino, Alonso Lopez, Fermín Aldeguer. These guys have just surprised, and they have done brilliantly with the Pirelli tyres. You see a lot of changes going on now. Celestino Vietti going to an older setup, Tony Arbolino going to older setup as well. In fact, I think even Celestino Vietti has changed brake discs, if I'm not mistaken, and now he's found a lot of comfort with the motorcycle. Of course, the Pirelli tyres, a lot of riders are still struggling with the feeling of tyre fade. A lot of riders beginning to struggle towards the end of the race, no matter if they're trying to be calm on the tyres or to be pushing aggressively. It seems to be that a lot of riders seem to be suffering in specific tracks. Aaron Canet has been brilliant so far this season, right up to the Saxonring, where I don't even think he finished in the points. He looked incredibly weak this weekend in the Saxonring, which I was extremely surprised at, as that is another rider I would imagine in a good couple of years or two would be making that leap to the Premier class. There's a lot of riders in Moto2 right now that I think would be good on Moto2 seats, but the question is, will they be better than the riders they are going to replace? I read a lot. I see it in the Discord server, I see it on Instagram, I see it everywhere. Jack Miller's got to go. Franco Morbidelli needs to retire. Such a such. Somebody needs to retire, someone needs to go. You take away a rider like that doesn't necessarily mean that you replace them with someone better. If you removed Augusto Fernandez and quickly put Fermín Aldeguer in his spot, are you going to see much differences? I'd say probably not. I don't think there would be much difference between those two. I think unless you have a absolute superstar talent like your Marquez's, excuse me, I can't think of his name, Pedro Acosta, apologies, his name completely disappeared from me. Unless you have a superstar talent like that who just flies into the sport and immediately becomes the big presence, I don't think any of the Moto2 riders are going to do that. So, as far as I'm concerned, to answer the main question of this video without me continuing to waffle, is pretty much Ducati have not made a mistake. Trust the process, trust in their decision, back themselves and own their decision to bring Fermín Aldeguer to MotoGP. And I'm going to make it clear from this point onwards today, I could be completely wrong and I could completely jinx the young Spaniard. But I'll tell you now, by the end of the season, Fermín Aldeguer will either win the Moto2 World Championship or he'll be right there within the hunt. I don't doubt that now he's had the embarrassments of having the long lap penalties, crashing in the long lap penalties, again getting a long lap penalty in the likes of Assen, and just being a bit silly really, and pushing when not particularly necessary. I think now that's stopped, we should see a much better version of Fermín Aldeguer. The man from Murcia will be in MotoGP next season, probably with Alex Marquez within the Gresini team, which I think is a fantastic combination. Really solid idea of seeing two young Spaniards together. Alex Marquez, of course, getting into his own at the minute with the Gresini Ducati. I'm happy to hear that he stayed 2 years with the Gresini team, and I think it would be a good pairing to have someone like Aldeguer. He's a really fun character. He likes to be around people, very outgoing, very well spoken. I think Fermín would fit in well with Fausto Gresini's or Nadia Gresini's team from now on. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that's my opinion on Aldeguer going up to MotoGP. That's my thoughts on if Ducati have made a mistake. But most importantly, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Do you reckon Fermín Aldeguer is on his way up to the promised land, into the best sport in the world, i.e. the Premier class? Or do you think Ducati have made a mistake? I do agree and I do appreciate, I think they took the decision too early. But at the same time, I don't think it would have changed their opinion. Maybe a couple of races this season, they might have thought, oh, damn it, what have we done? But then the rest of it, I'm sure they're happy with their decision, because I think Aldeguer is a talent that will be snapped up by many teams. So I think they made the right choice to sign the man from Murcia in Spain. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Keen to hear what you guys are going to say. I'll see you in the comments section upon the conclusion of this video. I'll probably be already lurking around depending on what time I'm about. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. So let me know in the comments section down below. And now let's get back to the time trial session. I wanted to chuck a time trial on because it's easy for me just to converse with you guys without having to worry about too much. So with Fermín Aldeguer around the track of Saxonring, I do hope you're not fed up with the Saxonring yet, because I think it's going to come back up again very soon. I actually had two more requests at this circuit. One of them was to play as Fabio Di Gianantonio, which I'll probably have to put back a little bit for now, because we have done a lot of Saxonring the past couple of days. I think last weekend I did the video with Marquez in the Saxonring. I also did the track guide here in the Saxonring, then the video with Hector Gartho here in the German GP, and now a time trial with Fermín Aldeguer. We should be pretty good at the Saxonring by the time my career mode race enters this wonderful circuit. But speaking of career mode, do not miss tomorrow's video. I recorded it yesterday and I must confess, it is absolutely brilliant. One of my best races ever in MotoGP 24. Just don't miss it, honestly. I can assure you it is not to be missed. It was a terrific, awesome, brilliant fight for everything. Just watch it tomorrow and I'll see you there. But if you are enjoying the content so far and you're looking forward to the videos tomorrow, don't forget to like and subscribe. Just help the channel, helps me grow. And yeah, without further ado, let's start talking about the time trial, because I'm still waffling on, but I guess that's why you subscribe. So out of the left-hander then, of course, many left-handers here in the Saxonring. 9 lefts to 4 right-handers. And we're not doing too bad. I did take a look at the leaderboards before starting this video. I wasn't expecting to get like world record or anything like that, but I did notice, I think Mattia Passini was up there in the top 2, and I know he's very fast. I don't think it's the Mattia Passini, I think it's just a player with the same name. But he was up there with a 120 point something, so I don't think I'll get into the 120s, but I'd like to get into the lower echelon of the 121s perhaps. So with this being the Saxonring, my usual cut-off point is around 10 laps, so let's do a few more. Of course, it is a shorter circuit, and let's see what we can produce. A fun fact for you, though, I'm actually producing lap times there better than the Premier Class boys did in the race, which is not indicative of anything. It's just simply the case of Moto 2 and MotoGP 24 is rather quick, same way as all the laps are here in this game, as we have found a bit of time into the first split. Very difficult circuit to get momentum on, because I find that if you make one small mistake, then it seems like the entire lap goes on forever, if that makes sense. So you run it a little bit deep, it just feels like you're treading in quicksand if you then try and catch back up on that time. If you have a good sector and you see the delta go up, then you get that momentum. It's a really momentum-sucking circuit. It's brilliant to build upon the momentum, but it's easy to lose it. And I don't think there's many circuits like it that have that sort of intense nature. Probably due to the fact that because the lap is so short as well, that you can't afford to even have a small moment where you might not have been as late on the brakes perhaps. But as we go out of the Queckenberg then, for the 10th time of asking, we're very close there to improving the lap time. We didn't, but there's some good 121s in there. Really curious to see what our pace is going to be when I come to the career mode here actually, because of course I'll be using the same bike but just a different chassis. I'll be using the Calyx chassis rather than the speed ups frame of the Boscoscura. So that's going to be interesting. Of course my career mode bike has now just been upgraded, but for actual speed and everything else, I don't know whether it's that much different. I think the team with the bikes in Quick Race, I think they're like 100% performance, let's say, everything plus 10. where the career mode at the minute is like +6 and maybe +5 and such, so yeah. Oh, God. Absolutely running the hell on the curbs there. That's not going to happen, unfortunately, so that is going to invalidate the lap time. We'll try and end one more with a positive lap time, as also would have invalidated there as well. But you can see the pace is still there. The speed is still very much consistent and fast. If you're going to do any sort of video, you're going to do any time trial, that's what you want to do. You want to hit those C's and you want to hit those F's. Consistent and fast. And look at that. We would have actually improved. Across the line, 121.5. Well, if this is going to be the last one, then we're going to give it a bloody good go. So, lap 12, let's hope we can end on a positive. Into the first split. I was actually thinking I'd find time there, but didn't manage it into turn 1. Now for turn 2, in the corner I crashed in the Marquez video last Sunday. Ah, we've lost a bit of time. Not much, you're talking hundredths of a second. Really trying to sweep round these corners now with the Boscoscura. It's going alright though, with the Delta. Just keeps popping its head in, just give you that little bit of a motivation that one needs. 16,000 of a second is what we lost going into 16,000 the second sector, as we now continue on this warpath to try and improve. Can we do it on the final lap of today's video? Only a couple more corners out of the Ralph Waldrum curve. We are 2,000th of a second up. Can we get it to work? Oh, really tight. I thought I was going to touch the apex there. I think if I did, I would have sat the bike up. So here we go then, into the Queckenberg for the final time of asking of today's video. We will improve, but not significantly. But that will do me nicely. So there you are then, guys and girls. Thank you very much for watching the video. As I say, don't forget to let me know your comments down below regarding the Ducati and Fermin Aldeguer situation with his contract. And yeah, I will leave my lap times on screen for you now to have a look. Of course, I did have the 2 invalidated laps, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. So guys, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for more videos. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.